give you a few of the stats as well. They say that 92% of doctors in Nigeria are considering finding a job abroad. It furthermore says that 70% of Nigerian doctors are making plans to leave for foreign lands and are taking exams to that effect. Mr. Speaker, the stats furthermore say that 5 years ago, more than 1,000 doctors wrote the primaries exams for West African colleges, College of Physicians to gain admission into Nigerian teaching hospitals for residency training. But this year, 2017, only 236 doctors applied for and wrote the same exams, while 660 doctors wrote PLAB to practice in the UK in preference over the residency exams in Nigeria. It says, as at October 2017, over 1,000 doctors have already registered for the next PLAB exams that will hold in Lagos, March in 2018. Mr. Speaker, these statistics are very dire. We have absolutely no doubt. I mean, I don't understand. If we have the manpower, how come Kebbi is without a doctor? You know, so I think that it is important that this engagement actually happens. I've read in the papers that, okay, of course, there's arguments for and against as to why doctors cannot have private practice. I mean, there's so many arguments for and against. But you see, Mr. Speaker, I think that this engagement is going to create a platform for us as a government to actually make sure that the doctors feel comfortable to practice in Nigeria, everywhere in the world. The heart surgeon, for instance, who carried out the gynecologist in America who carried out the separation of that is a Nigerian. Heart surgeons in the UK, the best heart surgeons in the UK are Nigerians. Go to Dubai, half the doctors are Nigerians. If you go to hospitals in Atlanta, half of the doctors in Atlanta are Nigerians. South Africa, ditto for South Africa. And so most Nigerians leave this country and seek medical help outside of the country. And yet we go to meet Nigerians and pay exorbitant rates. So I think that the important thing is to find a way for us to mitigate against this brain drain, because that's exactly what's happening. All our doctors, because we're doing something right by turning out good doctors, are finding better paid jobs outside of this country. So I believe that what the mover of this motion is trying to do is create a platform for us to have a conversation where Nigerians and these doctors meet each other halfway in such a way that we improve on our healthcare delivery. Because, Mr. Speaker, the quality of our healthcare delivery is at the heart of the kind of personnel that we have in Nigeria. I'll give you a case in point. Mr. Speaker, we have most of the equipment, MRIs, most of the people you see, the technicians and so on and so forth, can't even interpret an MRI in Nigeria because all the people who can do it are abroad. So I agree with the mover of this motion that we should not just gloss over it. I think that this issue is existential to us as a people. It's existential to our healthcare delivery. And so it should be taken as a very, very serious issue. I therefore thank my colleague for raising this issue, and I'm hoping that this House will give it speedy passage, at least so that we can do something about our healthcare delivery.